नमस्ते हरि ओम् अद्वैतचिन्तनवर्गे सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणावर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः परमऋषिभ्यो परमऋषिभ्यः। शोभा भगिनी शांति मंत्र।
महोदय। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्।
नमस्ते। प्रथमं श्लोकमपि पठतु।
श्रीहरिं परमानन्दम् उपदेष्टारमीश्वरं व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्।
धन्यवादः भगिनी। तृतीयं श्लोकमस्ति। स्ववर्णाश्रमधर्मेण तपसा हरितोषणा साधनं च भवेत् पुंसां वैराग्यादिचतुष्टयम्। Now, before we enter to today's sloka, Shobha Bhagini, your last class you mentioned about Vasana and Trigunatmika thing. So I thought I will clarify on that aspect. See, there are two ways of approaching the subject. When you are looking from the Advaita point of or Paramartha point of view, these are all prakriyas only. Like, whether you are going through the Maya Upadhi, and there is there are the other prakriyas like Avastatraya Nirupanam, then what you call the prakriyas of Panchabhuta Panchikaranam, Trivitkaranam. All these are different methods in which experiences of the world has been justified.
Yes.
Now, justification is one thing, and the truth behind the justification is different thing. Advaita never says that what we experience in our life is not true. Advaita accepts that Sarvam Atma Swarupena, Sarvam Jagat Atma Swarupena Atma Eva. That is the statement which Upanishad says. Atma Swarupa, if you take it, then all the experiences are Atma only, even though there are apparent differences, like Jagat, Jiva, and individual multiplicity, all those things. In that, what happens is that some explanation is required for our, the repeated experiences. That from yesterday to today, there is an experience, even though there is change. That change is not noticed by, that is called avidya. And we feel a continuity of our memory. And if you look at our present day experience itself, that is 90% of them is on memory based. including what the individual feels about himself or herself onwards to the related objects where the transaction takes place, is all from the memory point of view only. From that point of view, the vasana and the triguna is explained inside that such a way that the sattva, raja, tama, guna and the mixture of the three are the forms in which every experience is being felt by the individual, the jiva. Now, based on the experiences, the reaction, what the jiva does is called the action or karma. So karma is also within the realm of the Trigunatmika. So there is Sattva karma, Rajoguna karma, Tamoguna karma and Sammishrana karma of all the three. Now, when this karma aspect comes in, then there is something called, for every action there is a consequence. It's a normal knowledge which we all have. So that is what is called karma phala. Now karma phala, from the Vedic point of view, what they say, that those are the days when they didn't have any of this modern thinking, and also all they knew was to relate to Vedas and the Prayaschitta and the Punarjanma. So from that point of view, if you are looking at it, in the textbook what they are saying is, there is moksha, there is Punarjanma, there is the path of to rebirth through the Agni-adi marga and Archiradi marga or Suryadi marga, like different methods are mentioned. Setting aside that aspect, look it from a more current information we have about our own experiences. Even though we are not defying what Veda said at that time was irrelevant, what we have to today look at is how can we not justify what Veda said. We don't have to do that, because that has been said at a time when the information was very limited for the individuals. Most of the information were only on the thinking. They didn't have any physical way of analyzing the world or getting into the anatomy or biology or chemistry or any of those aspects. But today we are not in that situation. As human beings, we have advanced so much so that we are today in a situation to even link why is a certain characteristics or behavior happens in an individual to the type of DNA that body carries. Now, what is etched out in a DNA, if we relate it with the Vedas, it will not match, because DNA is part of the male aspect and the female aspect, and the progeny gets a DNA which is different from both of them but have characteristics from both of them. So in that sense, there is a trait which is related to DNA. Whether the individual has got a trait for psychological disorder, physical disorders, and their interest in certain subjects and disinterest in certain subjects, all can be verified with the changes in the DNA particles. Now, then the question will come, how do we justify our karma phala theory into the DNA theory? That is still difficult, because if we are telling about today's karma, we can relate it, because the DNA goes through mutations based on our eating habits and our working habits, our sleeping habits. All those things gets a mutation on our DNA. So that way the body is a karma phala, and how we start thinking about our future, or even in our thoughts today, are controlled by the modulations or mutations that happens in the DNA. But the problem comes when it calls for a rebirth. So rebirth and the DNA, what we got, still we have, scientifically we cannot prove it, because the DNA as an individual is part of the DNA of my father, part of the DNA of my mother, but then there are certain DNA molecules which are not either belonging to my father or my mother, which makes me an individual different from my father and mother as a DNA is concerned. Now, why did or where did that mutation or the change happen to me, or what caused the change, is still unknown to science world as well as for anybody who can explain it. So from that point of view, do you think we can connect it to what the karma phala of the past life or not? It is very difficult to say, probable, but is there any proof? There is no proof for it. This is what today we have to say for it. You understood now?
Yes, Mahodaya, I understand.
Yeah.
Can I just say a couple of things there?
Yeah, please do.
So yes, when it comes to Satyam, Nithyam, as you were saying, Advaita, and then through Avidya, why
Right.
we are seeing the Srishti,
Right.
and not in the light of, the Satyam, is because of the Avidya. So that Srishti that we are seeing through Avidya, as long as we are seeing it, it is real. Because Satyam, Mithyam means not that it is a lie, not that it's not real. It means that it's not eternal, because it goes through change. It is here today,
Right.
not there tomorrow. So in that way it is Mithyam. So as long as we are seeing it and not the truth behind it continuously, then it is Satyam for the time being.
Right.
So being in that kind of, not Satyam, but it is real at the moment.
Right.
So in that way, it is also worth knowing all these things that comes into that, like the Srishti, and how everything happens within it. So, and that is why I was asking, because that is real in that sense. And also when it comes to Rishis, Maharshis, even though they didn't have any technology back then, they didn't need it, because their tapopala was such that they could not only have the access to all the gnana there is about anything, anywhere in the universe they could do that. I think, is what I understand. So they knew without all the modern technology how everything worked and all that, because they wrote all the shastras on astrology and Ayurveda and what else? All the angas of Vedas. So without any of the technology. And the DNA, as far as how I understand it, is DNA is another way of passing on the karma, because we have to take on the physical bodies, and the bodies are given according to prarabdha karma only. Prarabdha karma is, as we all know and understand, that part of the sanchita karma that we bring to this life only. So naturally, of course, we are given the subtle sharira is the same, but the physical body is given according to whatever karma we come here to spend in this lifetime within this srishti, that is through avidya and all that. So DNA is a very important part of that. For the physical body, how do we experience karma? Through the DNA only. That is why, as you are saying, we have some genes from parents, mother and father, but we have it from purvajas also. All the purvajaha who came before our parents.
That is the place where the link is still not been able to establish.
But the fact is, though, as I understand it, is that the DNA is given according to karma only. Because that is how we are going to go through what we are supposed to go through in the given life. Not that it cannot be changed. It can be at any time. That's where bhakti and any form of discipline, according to whether it is, Ashtanga Yoga or whatever method we want to follow, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Gnana Yoga, all that come in. Raja Yoga is
Mm.
nothing but Ashtanga Yoga.
Right.
So it can be changed. It can be changed. We don't have to go through all the prarabdha we've brought with us. But I understand that in Advaita Chintanam, this is all not real. But at the same time, it is because we are living it. That's why I ask those questions to
Yeah.
know.
See,
So
see, this is why Advaitic way of thinking is important, is that all those what we experience and the reality of everything is from the surface of the experience. But where does that experiences and the changes happen is not explained in any other philosophy other than Advaita. In the whether you take scientific explanation or even in the philosophical explanation, when we look at it in the world, the substratum on which all these changes take place, and the changes have to be known from a point of reference which is unchangeable. That
yes.
what it is not has been mentioned in any of those sciences or in the philosophy other than Advaita. That is why Advaita has a special role, and even after the 2000 years or there are more followers for Advaita than the philosophical world. In okay, science people who are not exposed to Advaita, other than those who have not come across, they are also talking something similar to Advaita, but they don't know they are talking Advaita. The
Correct.
metaphysical people who are talking about the consciousness and the unified field of unified theory, all those people are also more or less talking about the Advaitic point of view only. But since Advaita is a Sanskrit based knowledge system in India, people from India are familiar with that. But when the Westerners get exposed to this, that yes, this has been told as old in the Vedic texts in India, there are people turning towards this to find more how they can develop on that quantum theory and quantum field theory and all those things. There are a lot of that science and non-duality. There is a group itself who is working on that. So from that point of view, it is why is important is that there is a prescribed method in which this aprokshanubhuti or mokshatvam or your own true nature can be attained by removing the misconceptions. It is a praptam. You are already there, but the ignorance of not knowing what is your true nature is to be exposed by removing the misconceptions superimposed upon the individual, is what the Advaita process is also about. For that what are the different methodology, like Maya and Avidya, then Asatra Nirupanam, Panchikaranam, Trivikranam, all those experiences are only for taking out those misconceptions superimposed on the individual, on myself. So that is where we'll have to, it will be easy for us to find out on the, details of this, what is being told to us, like Maya and, the Trigunatmika, Vasa and all those things. But you should understand that it's just like sitting on a shore on a seashore and counting the waves. You can never come to an end of it, because these are all still in the realm of misconceptions. To know, you should know the water which is causing the waves, isn't it?
Understood,
Something
Mahodaya. We are here to discuss Advaita, so that is the focus of this class, right?
Right.
Because like Swami Vivekananda said and Ramana said also, that you are always that. You don't come or go. You are always where you were. Prakriti, here Prakriti is the entire Srishti, comes and plays on you and goes away. So
Right.
I understand. So yes, this we are here to talk about Advaita, and not the other things
No,
that come
see,
through.
while understanding the Advaita, if such misconceptions need to be removed, we should explain the misconception as what it is and how it is not matching with Advaita. Then only you can remove it, no?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's possible to be aware of the Satyam all the time, Advaita, Satyam, and then look at these things also. But I understand what you're saying. So yes, we'll talk about Advaita, and the focus should be there.
Right.
Yes. Thank you, Mohdaya.
Okay. So the next sloka is, can we start with the sloka, or any questions from others? Chandani, Chandu, or Vijaya?
No, Mahoday.
Okay. So the next slokam is Swavarnasrama Dharmena Tapasa Haritoshanat Sadhanam cha Bhavet Pumsam Vairagadi Chatushtayam. Now the Padacheda, Chandani Bhagini, want to read?
Yes, Mahoday. Mahoday.
Yes, right.
Padacheda Sarvanam Shrama Dharmena Tapasa
Swavarnasrama Dharmena.
Swavarna Shrama Dharmena Tapasa Haritoshanat Sadhanam cha Prabhaveta Pumsam Vairagyadi Chatushtayam. Anvaya Sarvanashram Dharmena Tapasa
Swavarnasrama Dharmena again.
Swavarna Shrama Dharmena Tapasa Haritoshanat Pumsam Vairagyadi cha Sadhanam Chatushtayam Prabhavet.
Yeah. Read the English part of it.
By undertaking one's own duties ordained in the Vedas and praying Sri Hari, those who possess the detachment along with the fourfold sadhanas like Vivek, Vairagya, Shatasampati and Mumukshutva makes himself fit for the study of this.
Dhanyavadam. So, what it says is that Swavarnasrama Dharmena. Chadurvarnyam. There is fourfold varnas. Ashrama Dharmena, like Brahmacharyam, Grahastham, Vanaprastham, Sannyasam. Then Tapasa means Krishnan Chandrayanam. There are various tapas and Prayaschitta also comes under tapas only. Haritoshanat, Harim and Sri Harim is those who are praying to him. With that, Sadhanam Prabhavet Pumsam. So, Sadhana Chatushtayam is Vairagyadi, Vairagyam, Vivekam, Shamadamadi Shatsambati, Mumukshutvam are the Sadhana Chatushtayam. Prabhavet, they will get enlightened with the fourfold requirement is achieved by Swavarnasrama Dharmena Tapasa Haritoshana. That is what the sloka is all about. Now Vidyarnya Muni is written the commentary on that. Lalita Bhagini, Namaste. And I can't hear you. Vijaya Bhagini? Okay. I'll read it. Nanu karyasya karanadinatvad purvokta sadhana chatushtayasya kim karanam iti achankya aha swavarneti atra swashabdena मुख्य गौण मिथ्याभेदेन त्रिविधेषु साक्षी पुत्रादि देहादि लक्षणेषु आत्मत्सु मध्ये मिथ्यात्मा अयोग्यत्वात् गृह्यते। तस्य देहादे ब्राह्मणादि वर्णः ब्रह्मचर्यादि आश्रमा प्रयुक्तेन धर्मेण ब्रह्मार्पणकृत कर्मानुष्ठानजन्य अपूर्वेण पूर्वामीमांसा प्रसिद्धेन भाविफलदारभूतेन पुण्यादि शब्दवाच्येन इत्यर्थः। तथा तपसा कृच्छ्रचान्द्रायणादीना प्रायश्चित्तो इत्यर्थः। पुनः हरितोषणात् भगवत्प्रीतिकरात् सर्वभूतदयालक्षणात् कर्मविशेषात् एतैः त्रिविधैः साधनैः वैराग्यादिचतुष्टयरूपं साधनं मोक्षसाधकः धर्मविशेषः पुंसां प्रभवेत्। संभावनायां लिङ्ग् यत् एवम् अन्वयः स्ववर्णाश्रमधर्मरूपेण तपसा कृत्वा यत् हरितोषणं तस्मादिति यद्यपि साधनचतुष्टय विवेकादिक्रमेण हेतुहेतुमद्भावः तथापि वैराग्यस्य असाधारणकारणतां ध्येययितुम् आदौ ग्रहणं कृतमिति बोधव्यम्। So that was the whole Deepika Vyakhyanam by Vidyaranya Muni. Now we will split that and try to understand what Vidyaranya Muni says here. Nanu karyasya karanadhinatvat purvokta sadhana chatushtayasya kim karanam. Now purvokta sadhana chatushtayam is a karanam with one of the karanas for mumukshutvaadi sadhana chatushtayasya. Iti ashinkyaha swavarneti. What is the this swavarneti means whatever varna he is it, whether he is brahmana, kshatriya, vaidya, shudra, or whatever varna that is, atra swashabdena, because as far as the aspirant or the vidya, the candidate who is studying this, swashabdena mukhya gauna mithya vedena. There are mukhya and gauna. There is a mithya vedam itself. Mukhya and gauna is a due to mithya. So mithya vedena trivideshu sakshi putradi dehadi lakshaneshu atmasu. These are the three. Sakshi putradi dehadi lakshaneshu atmasu madhye mithyatma ayogyatva grihyate. Now here the thing is that in case the question arises as to what causes the fourfold sadhana towards qualification of the adhikari as a result by the causation, then it can be said that the varna, the type of life status, here the words, the self status is due to ignorance caused by the two differences of main and subordinate, mukhya and gauna. The three states of awareness, also the visual differentiation of the independent bodies of the self and the progeny. The son is different from the father, and that body differences, and the sakshi stands here for the states of awareness, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. And then as the cause to feed the non-qualified individual and the self due to illusion. Because of these identifications to either the body or the avasthatraya or the varna shrama dharma or the association with the mithya atma, because of that ayogyatva grihyate. The individual feels I am different from the yogya vastu, which is atma. Then tasya dehate brahmanadi varna brahmacharya ashrama prayuktena dharmena ब्रह्मार्पणकृत कर्मानुष्ठानजन्या अपूर्वेण पूर्वमीमांसा प्रसिद्धेन भाविफलाधारभूतेन पुण्यादिशब्दवाच्येन इत्यर्थः। तथा तपसा कृष्णचन्द्रायणादीना प्रायश्चित्तेन। So here dehadehe brahmanadi varnam. See, the brahmanadi varnam is of the deha. Same way brahmacharya ashramam also is of the deha. Then what happens? Karma, when he comes to karma, dharma and karma is that brahmarpana krita karma anushtana janyam. Deva ishwararpana krita karmam tasta anushtanam kritva yet apurvam mimamsa purva mimamsa prasiddhena. Now in the purva mimamsa they link between the actions which we do to the result by a entity called apurva. Now apurva is adrishtam is another word, sometimes they use it. It is something existing but it is not visible. So it is called apurva in the Mimamsa terminology. So brahmarpana krita karmanushtana janyam. So the karma creates the apurva and apurva is the one which results in the phala. Bhavi phaladhara bhutena. Bhavi phalam is delivered by the apurva. Punya, the shabdan, punya, papa and all those things are the bhavi phala bhutam. So what is the punya and papa is being created is due to brahmarpana krita karmanushtana. So what is being done by dharmacharanena evam ishwaradi arpana karma karyena apurva janyam. That apurva is the reason because of which the bhavi phala which happens, and that comes in the form of punya, papa, all those things. Tata tapasa, the word tapasa is standing for Krishna Krishna Chandrayanadina Prayaschaityanadi. So when the papa takes place, when bad things happen, the old days in the Vedic period, they used to do the prayaschitta karmas by doing the tapas as a prayaschitta, like Krishram, Chandrayanam are some of the names of the prayashchittas for misdeeds which is being committed as per the varnashrama dharma. So all these identification, that separation of the jiva and atma, and then there. So I told you, the superimposition of the misconceptions which we have in our identification with the dehadi, because aham deha, this is the reason because of which I associate myself to the brahmanadi varnashrama, then brahmachari grahastha yadi ashrama, and then even I am different from the entire world. So I do the sarva karmam krishnarpanam or brahmarpanam in that form, because the Veda has got the vidhi and nisheda. And if I do a nisheda karma which has been ordained by in the Shastra, I am supposed to do a prayaschitta which is in the form of either Krishna or Chandrayana. So these are all the methods in which those days people used to conduct their life. Punaha haritoshanat. Haritoshanat means here propitiating Hari. Bhagavat Preetikarat. Haritoshanat, its meaning is given as Bhagavat Preetikarat. Sarva Bhuta Daya Lakshanat. So for the Bhagavat Preeti, what is being done is Sarva Bhuta Daya. So in the Vedas it is ordained that you should not hurt any creation or any animal or anybody. So Sarva Bhuta Daya Lakshana is the Bhagavad Preeti Karam. Preeti Karyam. Karma Vishesham. That is the Karma Vishesham. Etehi Tribidai Sadhanehi. So we have got the what you call dharmanushtanam by varnashrama dharmena, then karma for the apurva, because of which we get punya papa, and then is the haritoshana, that bhagavad pritikara karma vishesha. Etehi trividai sadhanehi vairagyadi chatushtaya rupam sadhanam moksha sadhakaha dharma visheshaha pumsam prabhave. So by doing these things, what happens is that vairagyadi chatushtaya rupam sadhanam, moksha sadhanam. What is that moksha sadhanam for? Why should the vairagyadi thing? Life after life, when they believe it in the rebirth and everything, also, and every karma what they do, sometimes the apurva gets delayed and the karma phala doesn't come through. So they have a fear that they have done something wrong. That is why the phala doesn't come. So they start doing the prayaschitta. So in all those things, over repeating many times from the childhood, a sort of vairagya sets in the mind of the people who are having faith, that in spite of doing all those things, even in our today's life, we get into the feeling, I am doing so much of good deeds and everything, why still, things are not happening to me the way in which I expect for the karmas which I have done. So that repeated failure of action is one of the reasons why the vairagya sets in. When vairagya is supposed to be the beginning of the search for viveka. When the vairagya, why does the vairagya set in? Vairagya sets in says because of your ishtapurti is not happening. So when the ishtapurti is not happening, you start questioning yourself whether what you have done by as per the shastras, are they right or wrong, or am I in the right direction? And then that is the vairagya which propels you to think about what is nitya. So that will come in the next in the following verses. So moksha sadhanam beginning is with vairagyadi chatushtaya. From the vairagya it starts, and it's a dharma vishesha. Then swavarnashrama dharma rupena tapasa kritva yat haritoshanam tasmaditi yadyapi sadhana chatushtaya vivekadi kramena hetu hetumad bhava tatapi vairagyasya asadharana karanatam dhyotayitum adau grahanam kritamiti bodhyam. Now, having done the austerity like Sovarnashrama Dharma, Haritoshanat, having the thing, because of Hetu-Hetumad Bhava, the cause and having a cause aspect, that is what Hetu-Hetumad Bhava. That results in the Vairagyati Asadharana Karana, because even though we did all the actions which has been defined and ordained for Swavarnashrama, in spite of that and in spite of propitiating my Ishtadevata, the expected results are not coming through, which results in the vairagya. And that, because of the Hetu-Hetumad Bhava, the cause and the effect of it, is why we start thinking about the Vivekadi Kramena. Because of that, the first of the Adau, Vairagyasya Asadharana Karanam Jyotitam Adau Grahanam Krutamiti Bodhaipyam. That is why the Vairagyam is what is mentioned as the first stage of the process of getting into it. Now, what is Vairagyam? Now, Vairagyam has to be understood in the following verses. What Acharya says is, Shankaracharya says that Brahmadi Stavarandeshu Vairagyam Vishayeshvanu. यथैव काकविष्टायां वैराग्यः तद्हि निर्मलम्. शोभा भगिनी पदच्छेद अन्वय.
आम् महोदय. पदच्छेदः ब्रह्मादि स्थावरान्तेषु वैराग्यं विषयेषु अनु यथैव काकविष्ठायां वैराग्यः तद् हि निर्मलम्. अन्वयः यथैव काकविष्ठायां वैराग्यं तदैव ब्रह्मादि स्थावरान्तेषु विषयेषु अनु वैराग्यः तत् हि निर्मलम्. Just as the repulsion towards a crow dropping happens, such should be the attitude of aversion towards enjoyments coming from the Creator to the immobile stones. That indeed is the pure attitude.
Right. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Dhanyawad.
So here he is taking one example of kakavishta. Kakavishta means it's a dropping, crow dropping, or what the shit of crow. Now in the following the Deepika, Vidyaranya Muni adds two more examples to that. So what is a Brahmadi Stavarandeshu Vaidagyam Vishayeshu? Anu is Lakshikritya. So Brahmadi, from the creator Brahma to Stavaram means whatever is you can see as immobile, everything included, that is from the one end to the other end. Every Vishaya for Vairagyam, Lakshikritya, and how true the Vairagyam should be? It should be like how one should treat an unwanted thing in the life. If it is fallen on the body, how you wash or even take bath of it. That should be the aversion towards everything from Brahmadi to Stavarandeshu. Because none of them is going to give you a permanent happiness. That Advaita Siddhi or the Mumukshutvam, what we are searching for, has to start with the Vairagya of for everything what is under the as an object other than yourself. That is why when you say Brahmadi Stavarandeshu means everything is included, including your body. But the one who is knowing that the knower can never be included into that, because Vishayeshu. So the moment Vishaya comes, the one who knows the Vishaya becomes a different one. So Sarva Vishayeshu Vairagyam. For that only the Brahmadi Stavarandeshu is included, and Kakavishayam is only an example for it. Now, Lalita Bhagini, can you read it or you're in the mute?
I can read it.
We can't hear your voice, that's the problem.
I can hear?
Very feeble.
Oh.
Like last class only, you have to do something.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, very feeble. Very feeble. I think somewhere your mic is not, mic is either covered or something like that.
No, I am talking properly. Earphone is, I have put the earphone also. Maybe if I remove the earphone now, you can hear.
Now it's here. Now we can hear.
But then there will be echo, I think. I don't know.
No,
Just
when you speak, there is no echo. Even when I speak, there is no echo.
Okay, then I'll tell. Okay. I'll remove the earphone. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Kidrisham tat vairagyadi chatushtayam iti akankshayam tat swayameva vyachashte brahmadityarabhya vakta brahma aditya arabhya vaktavyasa mumukshuta ityantena shloka षट्कात्मकेन ग्रन्थेन तत्रादौ वैराग्यस्य लक्षणम् आह ब्रह्मादिस्थावरान्तेषु इति ब्रह्मादिस्थावरान्तेषु सत्यलोकादिमर्त्यलोकान्तेषु भोगसाधनेषु अनुकर्मजन्यत्वेन अनित्यत्वं लक्षीकृत्येत इत्यर्थः। वैराग्यम् इच्छाराहित्यं तत्र दृष्टान्तमाह यथैव इति यथैव काकविष्टायां वैराग्यं गर्दभादिविष्टायामपि कदाचित् कस्यचित् ज्वरशान्त्यर्थग्रहणेच्छा भवति। अतः काकविष्टाया ग्रहणम् उपलक्षणम् एतात्यादीनां विषयेषु इच्छानुदये वैराग्यस्य हेतुः गर्भितं विशेषणम् आह। तद् इति हि यस्मात् तद्वैराग्यं निर्मलं रागादि अमलरहितम्।
धन्यवादः भगिनि। कीदृशं तत् वैराग्यादि चतुष्टयम् इति आकांक्षायां तत् स्वयमेव व्याचष्टेये। ब्रह्मादि इति आरभ्य वक्तव्या सा मुमुक्षुता इत्यन्ते
इति अन्तेन वा महोदय?
इत्यन्तेन श्लोकषट्कात्मकेन ग्रन्थेन तत्रादौ वैराग्यस्य लक्षणम् आह। ब्रह्मादिस्थावरान्तेषु इति ब्रह्मादिस्थावरान्तेषु इत्युक्ते सत्यलोकादि मर्त्यलोकान्तेषु भोगसाधनेषु कर्मजन्यत्वेन अनित्यत्वं लक्षीकृत्येत इत्यर्थः। वैराग्यम् इच्छाराहित्यं तत्र दृष्टान्तम् आह यथैव इति। यथैव काकविष्टायां वैराग्यं गर्दभादिविष्टायामपि कदाचित् कस्यचित् ज्वराशान्त्यार्थग्रहणेच्छा ज्वर अशान्ति अर्थग्रहण इच्छा भवति। अतः काकविष्टाया ग्रहणम् उपलक्षणम् एतत्यादीनां विषयेषु इच्छानुदये वैराग्यस्य हेतुगर्भितं विशेषणम् आह। तदिहि यस्मात् तत् वैराग्यं निर्मलं रागादिमलरहितम्। Now, here he said, if the inquest is about how the Vairagya and others, that is explained in the next 6 verses of the book. Starting from this verse, there in this beginning, Vairagya is inducted as from the creator to the most insignificant inert objects, or from the heavens to this mortal world. Whatever that can be achieved is impermanent, is to be understood. Kidrisham tad vairagyadi chatushayam iti akamshayam. Why that akamsha is causing of the vairagyadi chatushayam? Tat swayameva vyachaste brahmadi arabhya iti arabhya vaktavya sa mumukshuta. So the brahmadi Stavarandeshu is the Vairagya, what we say is been told in the shloka and the thing. So Vairagyadi Chatushtayasya Akanksha. So what is that? Vairagyadi Chatushtayam Mumukshuta is the fourth one. So iti ena shloka shatkayana. There are 6 shlokas which is dealing with Vairagya, Viveka, Shamadamadi and Mumukshuta, this sadhana chatushtayam. ग्रन्थेन तत्रादौ वैराग्यस्य लक्षणम् आह ब्रह्मादि स्थावरान्तेषु इति. ब्रह्मादि स्थावरान्तेषु, it means here explaining is that Brahmadi Savantareshu means Satyalokadi Martyalokandeshu Boga Sadhaneshu Anu Lakshikritya Karma Janyatvena Anityitvam Lakshikritya Tyartha. That is from the Satyaloka or the Brahmaloka from onwards to the Martyaloka means to this world Boga Sadhaneshu. See, by the world per se itself has no problem on it. But when they become the Bhoga Sadhana for an object of desire for Bhoga, that Karma Janyatvena, for that whatever karma is being done, tad Anityam, Lakshikritya Ityartha. That should be the direction in which the inquest or the inquiry has to take place. Now, Vairagyam Iccharahityam. Vairagyasya apara nama asti Iccharahityam. Tatra Drishtantam aha yathaiva iti. That Iccharahityam is being explained. What should be the Iccharahityam or the Viragam? Vairagyam Vigadaragam. Yathaiva Kakavishthayam Vairagyam Gardavadi Vishtayam Api Kadachit Kasyachit. So Kakavishta is crow dropping. Now Gardavadi Vishtayam Api. Now that is a donkey's dung, or called like the cow dung. Jwara Shantyartha Grahanicha. Now Jwaram means is a fever. That creates a Shanti. Tasya Artha means anartha. Grahana Icha. So the removal of the Ashanti caused by a fever, that is also to be kadachit kasyachit. Whenever or wherever it happens, bhavati. Ataha kakavishthayam grahanam upalakshanam. So here the word kakavishta is used as a upalakshanam or a subordinate example or a gauna lakshanam. Upalakshanam. Ityadinam vishayeshu ichhanudeye Vairagyasya hetu gavitam visheshanam aha tadihi yasmat vairagyam nirmalam ragadi malarahitam. So here vairagya is the total absence of desire, and the example towards a cow dropping or a cow dung or a donkey dung is external in nature. That is on the body, it's an external thing. But when it comes to fever and Ashanti caused by the fever is an internal thing. So even for that, the sickness, we all have that, Icha to be free from sickness and all bodily ailment also. So not only the external objects Vishaya, but internal Vishayas also to be got rid of it, or will have to get rid of it. That attitude what is being related. Here these examples are upalakshanas, indicative similes. By generating disinterest in the objects alone is not enough, but also from free pangs from these, one is being physically away is one thing, but the second thing is that the desire or the pangs for having them or enjoying them, or even the hatred of unwanted things, that also. So both likes and dislikes are to be included in the internal and external afflictions with the body. That is what it is. Right. So these are the two things. Yes, Vijaya Bhagini. Yes, Vijaya Bhagini.
श्रूयते खलु? अस्तु. अत्र गर्भवती इत्युक्ते गर्भवत्याः स्त्रीः अस्ति. तस्याः चिन्तनं किम् अस्ति चेत् यत्र यत्र प्रसवं तत्र आगच्छति, अन्तिमसमये सा चिन्तनं सङ्कल्पं करोति, एतत्पर्यन्तम् अहं शिशुः न स्वीकरणीयम् इति. परन्तु अग्रिमसमये अपि शिशुः तस्याः प्राप्तमेव। अतः तस्य मनसि वैराग्येन नास्ति, दृढचिन्तनं नास्ति। एतदेव गर्भवत्याः तस्य लक्षणमस्ति।
Where is the word Garbhavati? Garbhavati in this one?
अत्र अस्ति खलु गर्भादि।
Gardabadi. Gardaba means donkey.
किमस्ति?
Gardabam. Gardaba means donkey. Gardabadi Vishaya.
परन्तु अन्य विषयमपि अस्ति। गर्भवती इति तस्य लक्षणमपि अस्ति। प्रथमं सा चिन्तितवती here after I should not have baby, but continuously she is having. काकविष्टमस्ति तत्र उदाहरणमस्ति खलु जि तत्र?
Yes, Kakavishta is one of them. See, Yathaiva Kakavishayam Vairagyam Gardavadi Vishtayam Api. Gardavati is a donkey.
मुख्य विषयम् अत्र किम् अस्ति जि तत्र?
The Vairagyam is the Mukhya Vishayam. Vairagyam for both the internal and external likes and dislikes. Kakavishayam is an external affliction, external thing which you don't like. Whereas in the previous verse, stanza here said, Brahmadi Stavarandeshu, which are dear likes. Now here she is showing a dislike, objects which are disliked. Like everything like unwanted, Gardavadi Vishta, ya Kaka Vishta. So, Satyalokat, Martyalokat, Yat Ishtam, Aparaha Asti, Kaka Vishtayam Vadi Sarvam Api, Anishtam Asti. That both of them are external in nature. Then when he talks about Jvara Shanti Artha Grahanecha, when he talks about it, that those are all the internal afflictions. Jvaram is unwanted Icha. But Shanti, when the Jvaram goes, is an Icha for the internal thing. So there the two, both the likes and dislikes related to the Jvara is also being to be taken into Grahanam. That is, we don't like the Jvaram, but we like the Shanti when the Jvara is not there. There is so both like and dislike is to be taken Artha Grahanam Icha. That is a Icha there, internal Icha. So external is one thing, internal is Sachin. So, but Vairagyam for all these type of things, both internal, external, likes and dislikes, is a Ragadi Mala Rahitam. So no type of raga which should be there. Ragati, the word adi, why is added from the likes and the dislikes. Mala Rahitam, because raga is considered as a mala. So that mala rahitam avatta nirmalam tadeva vairagyam. That is the viraga bhavam what the adhikari should develop. That is what the sloka says about it. Okay.
Dhanyawad.
Yeah. Then this sloka will go to the next week. Nityamatma swarupam hi drishyam tad viparitakam evam yaho nischaya samyak viveko vastuna savai. Now, here in this sloka, the fifth sloka, he is talking about the vivekam. Starting with vairagya, viveka, then comes the shatsambati, then comes the mubukshruta. So the 6 slokas starting from the one which we have just completed to the one which in the following 5 slokas, the 6 slokas are talking about the qualification required for an adhikari. So we will take up this sloka in the next class. Any questions?
No, ji. एतत् सर्वं समीचीनमेव भवती उक्तमेव धन्यवादः जी शुभरात्रिः
in the previous thing there was krichram was there. What is krichram?
Krichram Chandrayanam are the 2 tapas which we Krichram, I'll tell you Krichram. I had seen this before. Let me.
Completely eva khalu.
Yeah, Krichram is what they say is that Krantati Sukham. Nati Kulam Yada Vrikshe Vriksham Va Shakunir Yatha Tata Tyajan Deham Krichadragrahidam Uchate. That is Nati Kulam Yada Vrikshe Vriksham Va Shakuni Niryata Tada Tyajan Asmin Deham Tyajan Asmin Deham Krichrad Grahidam Uchate. Krichrad Grahidam Uchate. That is what he's saying is that this is some tapas which is being done on the Nadi Kulam. I think by
Okay.
Shakunir Yada, how the bird is sitting on a vrikshe. Tada Tyajan Tyajat Iman Deham. I don't know, some tapas which they do on the Nadi Kulam, on the vriksha, like how a bird is being done. So they do the on the body. So I will look up, and next class I will tell you, Magini.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
It is given in the Kashika Kalpadruma. It is given in detail.
Okay.
So basically, it's a painful tapas, like walking on fire, or all such austerities are being done by people known as the prayaschitta.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Mahodaya, can you show that word again?
Which one?
Yeah, that correction we'll know. Yeah. Krichram, no?
Krichram, is it kru and then two chakaras, or is there a Mahaprana?
Kru, cha, and the Murdanya cha. I'll show you.
There are two.
Yeah, here it is.
Kruchram. Oh, there it is krut. Then that can be shakara.
No,
also.
Krichram is the tapas.
Krichram
then Chandrayanam is another one. Krichram Chandrayanam. Krichra Chandrayanadina. So Samastapadam, they have done it.
Chandrayana, from what I know, they take one mouthful of it follows the Chandra's Kshinatvam and then becoming full again. So they increase the food according to that 2, 3
what
and
they
15.
say is that a religious observance or an expiratory penance regulated by the moon's age, the period of waxing and waning. In it, a daily quantity of food which consists of 15 mouthful on the full moon is diminished 1 mouthful every day till the dark night, where it becomes total fasting, and then they start again from one morsel full to 15 morsel full. So you take 15 spoonful on the full moon. On the 14th day you make it. On the next day you make it 14th. Like that, Amavasi, when it comes, you that day full day fasting. Then on the
very kathora tapas.
कठोर कृत्यः इत्युक्ते कष्टमेव अन्यपदम् इस् कष्टं कष्टं कठोरं तादृशमेव तावदेव.
But they have given something like Nadi Kule Vriksham Vrikshe Shakuni Yata. That explanation is given. I'll look at into the detail and give it next class. So these are all prayaschitta ordained in the Vedas, So Brahmana Hatya or Go Hatya, all these things too. Then there is a Vidhi and Prayaschitta and Vidhi Nisheda, based on which the Prayaschitta is also destined. So on all these things they link it to Apurva. So what is Apurva is only when you do these activities, you can create an apurva which will bring you either punya or papa. So if you do a papa karma, it creates a papa apurva which will bring you a papa phala. If you do a good karma, a punya apurva is created which will bring you a punya phala. Now punya and papa is, how is the punya and papa is measured is that yat sukham dadadi tat punyam, yat asukam dadadi tat papam. So the phala is divided into two. The phala which gives you happiness is called a punya phala, but the phala which gives you a misery is called a papa phala. And they link this through an apurva to the action done earlier to it. Hedu hetumat bhava, the cause and the effect. So, but apurva is something which the Mimamsa also has not been able to define or anything. That is what they say is Desha, Kala, Adrushta. These are the three things which are controlling that, as per the Mimamsa philosophy. So, you have to do such a karma in such a time, then only you will have the punya phala. Because if it is not done on the right time at the right time, the phala may be in the punya aspect, but it will come at a time when you are not in a fit moment to receive it. So that even though the punya, it may appear to be a punya for others, the receiver may have a pain while receiving it. Because, for example, the grossest example I can tell is that somebody is deciding for a sweet or payasam or something like that. He decided as a child when he was seeing somebody and he did some. But when the result comes, that is the time when he is fully into diabetic, he cannot touch sugar. So even though it is appearing to be a good result what you are getting, but for the one who is ordained to receive it, for him is it is a desire, but it cannot be fulfilled. That is called a papa. So he goes through a misery, at that time. So this karma and karma phala theory, Krishna himself says, Gahana karmana gati in Bhagavad Gita. So having created it, it has taken its own course. It is doing justice. But only thing is that when it is being done and how it is being, are we in the right frame of mind to receive it or not? Because everything is changing. So, but the action and the reaction do not look at the person or the time. Maturity, it comes. It matures and it comes. Whether we are in the right mind to receive it or not, we don't know. One example which I was told in one of my classes earlier is that a couple wanted a child. So they did all the thing for 14, 15 years. They did all the puja, karma and everything. Finally, she became pregnant at the age of 50 or so, or close to 50, when she is not able to physically carry the child. So she went through all the pain and everything. Finally, she delivered a child. And by the time when they became 60 to 70, the child who was born was such a nonsense. He was a misery to them and for the entire society. So they, felt that, why did we pray to have a child? So there is no reason why we can say that what is. So that's why the place and the time or the mental frame to receive a punya phala or a papa phala is not, you cannot put a rule and regulation and say this will do, if you do this will happen. But all these Krishna Chandrayanam, it's all ordained in the Vedas itself as a prayaschitta for it. Whether they are doing the prayaschitta or whether it is making an effort or not, we don't know. Because apurva is adrushtam. We can't see that, no? Astu, we'll stop. Any questions or anything? You want to discuss any other aspect? Otherwise, we'll meet next week.
ओके महोदय.
अपूर्व पापपुण्यविषये अपि तत् शब्दं स्वीकुर्मः खलु जि?
Apurva is a link between karma and karma phala.
एतत् पापपुण्यविषयमपि एतत् शब्दं स्वीकुर्मः अपूर्व इति खलु जि?
Apurva doesn't take the punya papa adjectives onto that. Punya apurva, papa apurva. Karma and karma phala has the punya and papa as the adjectives. Whereas apurva is a link which doesn't have an adjective because it is indescribable. Vaktum, avaktum, anyata vaktum. So what is that is not possible. So to give a visheshanam for it, punya or papa, cannot be done on that.
अस्तु जि, धन्यवादः.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ओम्. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम्. धन्यवादः सर्वेभ्यः.
धन्यवादः महोदय.
Done.
धन्यवादः.